All right, in this module, we'll look at what are component lifecycle events. Now, what is the concept of a component lifecycle? Now, we all know, now let's head back to the UI. See, now this is a component which we created, right? So now, when I click this refresh, okay, when I do npm start or when I start or when I, what is happening is this component for a second it blinks and it starts. So what is it doing is basically it loads, correct? Your form is loading, all the things are loading, the HTML gets loaded, it gets rendered, your render method is going to fire, correct? So the important thing that we need to understand here is basically what we need to clearly understand is there are a couple of methods which fire, okay, when the component is loading and unloading, okay, when it loads. So let us take a look at this concept of component lifecycle. Though when the component, when this, before this render and during this render, a couple of things, a couple of methods, Salesforce has wired it into the component. It is even there in all the other components, whether Angular or any of the new Salesforce Lightning components, it's all there. Okay. So the benefit of this is first is there will be an init event before the component loads. If you want to do some pre-processing to preload the form with some data or something, you can use the init event. In the, React, the init event is component will mount. This will fire before the rendering of the on both the server and client side. So if you want to do any pre component processing, you can do it in the component will mount. Okay. So next event is, there is a component did mount is executed after the first render only on the client side. So if you want to do any AJAX request, DOM or state update, you can use this. Or if you want to also integrate other JavaScript frameworks like jQuery or something, you can use this. Okay. Uh, or any set timeout, set intervals. This will be the only ones it will fire. The first render. If you want to see, first you'll have init method before it is rendered, right? If you want to do something there, you can do that. But component did mount is a better way to do it because that way what has happened is the component has got rendered. So if you want to access any DOM states, that is if your DOM, see, in the component will mount, when in the component will mount, this will not be available for you because it is not yet rendered. But this part, this render method, whatever components are there within that, but if you do the component did mount is executed after the first render only on the client side, all the DOM components will be available for you. Okay. So you can access the render method, whatever has been rendered on the screen. And if you want to do any pre-processing, set timeout, set interval in the background, you can do it. Now, one more method, component will receive props as soon as the props are updated and before another render is called, this will receive props. Okay, this is the whenever your props are what you're getting passing components props all the time, right? So if you want to do some pre-processing, you can do it with the prop for the props in this method. Similarly, now another thing is now whenever there is a state or a prop change, whenever from the button click, see if you from come here, if we come here and take a look here, what is happening here is when we do this, see the state is getting updated here. Just a minute, let me make that small change. Whenever we make any state or props change, which you have seen in the previous video, what will happen is, see this state change, this whole thing will get re-rendered. Okay, so you can control that. Sometimes you don't want the component to simply re-render all the time. You want to re-render it if there is any UI change, correct? So you will re-render it only if you want to see any UI change. But if you want to do any processing, then you need not update a component every time a state of prop is changed. So this is a very useful component given by React. Now, what is the benefit? Performance, correct? Every time you re-render, there is a cost of for the up and down uh, traffic and web traffic as well as to render the screen. So that is avoided and only processing will happen. So you can use this to manage that. Then again we will see like component will update before rendering, component did update, component we already seen that. And now a couple of other things that we can see, important ones are there are some more methods like component will receive props. Yeah, component will receive props, should component update, component will update, and component did update. So we'll see all of this. And unmount is also like if you want to do any unmounting after the component is unmounted, like where is the mounting happening in the index.js, in the index dot after this unmounting, if you want something to run, so you can do it in the, you can write this part in the again in the app.js. All right, so let's take a look at all of these methods in real time. Okay, I want to actually show an example in front of you. So what is happening in this app.js? First, let's understand this gets rendered. Then we have a state called a subject which we are showing. Yeah, we have a state which we are showing. We have a state which we is like say for example that we have created a state called subject, and this we are rendering it through the change handler, and this subject changes to Wednesday. So let us see all this, how all of this will work. So the first one, through the click of the button, what's happening is the subject is getting set in the change handler. If you see here in the change handler, we are saying set state Wednesday. So let's see this working once before we add the lifecycle events. Let's first start this. So during this time, what would I have run? These methods would have run. Component will mount, component did mount, and these three methods would have run. Component will mount, component did mount, and component will receive prompt. So let's take a look at this. So let's add this method. Now remember one thing, you don't need to add bind these lifecycle methods. This dot change handler, that is only for custom methods. So let's take a look here. So the first time this fires once. So if you want to do any pre-processing, you can add the logic here. Alright, similarly we will add component did update. So we have added these two lifecycle methods. So let's see this. We'll do one more thing. We will do change the state. So when we change the state, we're going to call this a Sunday. Alright, so in update will update, it happens on Sunday. It changes it to Sunday. So we have these two methods. So let's run all of this. So if you see here, it has run before the component will update. Let us refresh this once. See all of this. Okay, the change that we have to do is the update will fire after the rendering, right? After the component is created. So this is initially when we mount. So now let us see, component did mount. What I was doing is I was saying component will update. So that will happen after the second time onwards, once the component has rendered. This is will mount and did mount is for the first time the component gets mounted into the index.jsc. Like when first time when this loads, this is the only one time that it will run. Afterwards, in the running session, if there are some changes, component will mount, did mount will not run again. So now let's see the changes here. So if you see the component will update, component did update. So let's refresh this again. See the initial in the component will update, the initial value has got changed to Sunday. So if you see here the Sunday and then component will, I think I have written it wrong here. Will update, will did update, I'll say will mount. All right, so now let's understand this well. So component will mount, did mount. Okay. So now let's do one thing. Now I want to increment a counter here. So let us introduce a new state, call it counter, so that we'll understand the concept more clearly. Say 0 initially. Okay. It has initially as the value of 0. So now this is going to set state. So we create the state and we're going to say we're adding one more value here, and let's see the value of that counter. So what I'll do is I'm going to increment the value of the counter here. Let us see the value of the counter. Okay. So what I've done here is I've introduced a state. Okay. What I have done here is I have introduced a state called counter, and this is going to increment every time I click on. When first of all, what is going to happen is whenever it mounts, it's going to increment the value plus one. Okay. So the counter should be plus one, and I'm consoling it in the did mount. So let's see all of this running here. Just So just to continue with the component will mount. So this is the component will mount will run for the first time, okay, not multiple times. Now, so what we're doing here is we are creating a state with the value 0, and we can give set state counter 1 colon 55. Okay, so I'm initializing this to Sunday and this counter to 55 in the component will mount, because component will mount is usually set for initialization. You don't have any previous values here, right? Because as of now, still the state is the current state only. There is no new state. It's the first state that's getting rendered. So you cannot have any new state, that the previous state that you can access here. So we give counter 1, 55. What I'm doing here is I'm just consoling this, and then in the handler I'm incrementing it by, or say I'm just changing that counter 1 value to 5. So let me repeat, component will mount is for the first time. Okay. So when it comes into the for the first time, it's going to remain 55. So now let's comment this out. And let's see. So I have created a state variable and I have a counter variable, and I'm assigning it to first a number 55. I'll console it and see how many times it changes. So let me just start it here. So if you see, this shows a 55 value here, and here it shows 56. That's because it's getting incremented here. The component will mount has created one, and component did mount has increased my value by one. When you do the component did mount, the previous value will become accessible for you. The state will become accessible for you. So you can say this dot state and increment it in the component did mount. So that is why you're saying 55 and plus one value 56 here. All right, so now let me click any button here and see what's happening. See, now if you see here, the value remains the same. Now this 55, 56, this does not change. Do you see this? There are no more, because what has happened? So the concept here, what I'm trying to tell you guys is component did mount, component will run for the first time. Okay, when the component is loaded into the application, mounted into the application. So now let's change this to component did update. Takes two variables. Now in this, if we keep on changing it, so now what we will do here is I'm going to increment this every time. Okay. So I said component did update. And now what I'll do, when does the component update? Sorry. Here we are getting an error which says maximum depth exceeded. This can happen when component repeatedly calls set state inside. So let's understand what's happening. As I told you, this component did update will keep getting called multiple times every time the component is re-rendered. A component is re-rendered whenever there is a change to the state of prop. So here when we are doing this set state, React.js is detecting that this component did update is going to get uh, into a kind of a loop. Every time it's going to keep on firing. So for that, what we have to do is we'll have to stop the component from getting re-rendered. So for that, we'll say should component update. And let's see the pre-props and rip state. These are the two variables which get injected into this. And here what we will do here is you're going to say console.log rip state. So it will show any value that we want to see. If you want to see subject, if you want to see the counter is a state. Counter is a state. So it will show you counter one. Let's say we'll take counter one here. But one more thing in the should component update, what it will do is you can here you can specify whether the component should re-render. If you say return false, let's see, it will not re-render it. It will not whenever the component updates, the state and props will get updated, but the component will not run re-render. So let us run with this and see, check it what's happening. So now if you see that error has gone away. So the concept here is when we do here, see as I told you, component will mount, component did mount will run only once. Component did update will and component will update will run every time the component re-renders. And when does a component re-render? Whenever a state is changed. So now Salesforce now React.js recognizes that this dot set state is going to fire component did update. Yeah. So it's going to re-render it. And in the re-render